All right. So we're going to talk a little bit about this election that's going on and what it means for real estate agents. There's certainly nothing more polarizing than talking about politics. But let me tell you, as a business owner, this is something you need to know. And we're going to talk a lot about that today because I really think you're going to find this will make a big, big difference for your own business if you make the right choices based on the changes that are going to be happening. That's our topic for today. Welcome to today's morning meeting. I'm Greg Luther, the one guy that meets with you every single week to help you in growing your real estate business. Today's topic's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to talk specifically about, let me adjust my camera here. We'll talk specifically about what this election means for real estate agents. You know, it's a big, big change that's happening here. And based on policies that have been discussed, you might need to adjust your approach for picking up buyers and sellers, getting yourself lots of closings, and ultimately being able to survive and even thrive in the real estate business. I've been coaching agents for 25 years. We're very quickly coming up on 26 years. And that means I've seen an awful lot of presidents. We've seen Republicans, we've seen Democrats, we've seen everything in between. We've seen people that weren't in politics before that became politicians and the like. So, the fact is, business is going to keep going. Real estate is going to keep going, but the policies that are put into place can make a big difference on the adjustments you need to make for your marketing, for the type of clients you're working with, and ultimately where you want to move for your real estate business to grow. You've got to make adjustments all the time. It's got to be a constant, it's like water. You've got to keep flowing and changing to fit with what's going on in today's market. So before we get started here, obviously check in the chat. Let me know the city and state that you're in. You can check in right there in the chat. Let us know where you sell real estate. We do tons and tons of agent to agent referrals. So we oftentimes look at these chats and just say, hey, here's somebody from Detroit, Michigan. You call them up. You guys work out your referral that way. So make sure that you do that. And I got a question for you before we start here as well. What do you think is going to happen to the real estate business based on the election results? A couple of things you need to keep in mind, and this is if you're watching this live, of course, it's before the election results are final and all of that. And who knows, they're never final these days. But a couple of policies that matter for real estate agents. Presidential candidate Harris, Kamala Harris, is proposing a $25,000 down payment assistance for first-time buyers. Now, let me ask you in the chat, because you're a real estate professional, what's your opinion on what would happen if we start giving $25,000 in down payment to people that have never owned a home before, effectively letting them get in with no money down? Have you ever been there before? Have we ever had that happen before? And what's the ultimate outcome? Let me know your thoughts on that. I remember back in 2008 when we started to have the crash, there were so many people that had bought homes with 100% financing. Back then, we had an FHA program called Nehemiah. You guys remember the Nehemiah program where people were getting in with no money down? Not only was down payment assistance covered, closing costs were covered as well. And no question, it got a lot more people into houses. There's no question about that because, like, if you don't have money, you can't rent an apartment because you need a security deposit, first and last month's rent, that type of thing. If they were buying a home because they couldn't afford to rent, that's probably going to be a bad sign. Now, the big concern for me and for us with real estate prices is if there's that many more people trying to buy first-time homes and it's not their own money that they're using, it's gift money, that's going to force home prices up higher. It's supply and demand, and it's free money. It's going to push home prices up higher, making it more unaffordable. That's my personal opinion on this. Do you agree with that? Let me know your thoughts on this. Do you agree that if more people are looking to buy and they've been gifted funds, it's probably going to raise prices? It's certainly not going to drop prices, at least not from the knowledge I have and what I've seen over the last 2.5 decades. I don't believe that's going to be the case, that it would make homes more affordable by any means. It's people that shouldn't be buying them. And then what happens is, oh, it's a predatory lender that's foreclosing on us. No, you haven't paid your bill. That's how life works, right? They're foreclosing because you didn't honor your agreement. Here's what a mortgage says: you pay, you stay, you don't, you won't. So don't sign up for something that you can't afford. right? So that's kind of my opinion on it. Now, there's positives and negatives to everyone. This is not a political statement by any means. This is, you're a real estate agent, you're a CEO of a small business. You need to know how to adjust accordingly. On the flip side of that, with Trump, he is offering, or he's suggesting, large portions of federally owned land be changed over to allow for residential building, to build more houses, to provide more inventory. And that would be at a major tax benefit, meaning very low taxes, as well as very low regulation. Now, personally, I don't like the low regulation part. I don't like, I don't want a $500,000 home and a trailer home next to it. So I don't know what regulation means in their mind. But for me, it's like deed, all of the code enforcement and deed restrictions and that type of thing. So I don't like the low regulation. But hey, if we could get millions of miles, or I should say thousands of miles of land to build more residential houses on, that's great, because we know in real estate, we have an inventory issue, right? So we know that's good. I think that's good and bad based on that ultra low tax and ultra low regulation. I would want a little more information on that. But he's also proposing a tax incentive for first time buyers. That's awesome. That's good for absolutely everybody, right? A tax incentive for first time buyers. I like that personally. I like that a lot better than giving people money and letting them get in no money down. I think that's going to negatively affect the real estate market. Sounds good on the surface, sounds good from a podium, but we know what happens on the inside. Now, here's what you need to know. Here's my real thoughts about the election. I'm going to make a prediction here, and I'm going to tell you what you need to do based on the election results as a real estate agent. And I say this to heart because I've been coaching for 25 years. I work with 30,000 plus agents here. This shit don't matter. You're the president of your business. You've been licensed through Republicans, through Democrats, through people you liked, through people you didn't like. The real estate market is going to go on. It is your job to adjust accordingly and to continue succeeding, to continue with your success model, regardless of all of the noise that's going on right now. What really matters is how you react to the changes. That's what really matters here. So I think that you understand, yes, there's positives and negatives, but there's positives and negatives to everything. You look at, it doesn't matter what it is, electric cars, okay? Global warming, all of that stuff. There's positives to it. I hate electric cars myself. There's positives to it. I'll never have one. I'm sure there's some kind of benefits, but it's not for me. Well, the same is true for really every policy that's ever created regarding residential single family homes. But what you have to do is deal with it. You remember we just had these rule changes, and now the way our commission structure works, and we have to negotiate in advance and all of that stuff. You deal with it. That's what you have to do. The business must go on. If you decide this is too much and oh my gosh, it's going to be difficult now. No, it was freaking difficult before that happened. It's going to be difficult with the previous president, with the next president, and with the one after that. Stop using outside forces as though it's the problem. So this is something I really want you to think about, because regardless of the changes that happen, that's what you got. You got to deal with it. So you make adjustments accordingly and you keep hustling. You don't think, oh, this happened, so great, I think I'm going to make a ton of money. Or, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened and this is so horrible and now the real estate market is over. Really? There's been some damn bad presidents over the course of this last several decades on both sides of the equation. Real estate's still hustling. It's still doing its thing. We're still going up and doing well. And there's plenty of business for all of us here. So I want you to remember, you got to deal with what you've got. If you want to make money in real estate sales, I think the most important thing is you not focus on what's going on in the White House. You focus on what's going on in your house. I think that's really the key factor that you need to make an adjustment on here, because your job as a real estate agent, regardless of what's going on politically with NAR, with the president, with taxes, with credits, with all of that stuff, what really matters is you need to get attention as a real estate agent. You have to get attention. With what you're doing, you need to get attention in the marketplace. But here's the key factor. Once you get attention, once you've got them, you better have something valuable to show. Because otherwise, it's the equivalent of, hey, look over here, look over here. Oh, I didn't have anything for you. That's what typical marketing is. Your picture, your logo, your name. I'm a household name in Central Ohio. I care about your business. I'm your first call. Call me and then start packing. That stuff does not. Why are you trying to get attention? Because they look over there and there's nothing for them. What's your value proposition? What's the reason they're going to use you? Do not try to get attention if what you offer is as average as everybody else. You are going to fail. That will speed up the rate at which all of the marketplace finds out you're as average as everyone else. Don't speed up that rate. Fix what your offer is to begin with. So your job is to get attention, but once you have them, have something to show. You're a target marketing specialist. You can expose this property to the most opportune buyers by using marketing list brokers that you can narrow down by credit score, income, family household size, how long they've lived there, what their age of their children are. Are they empty nesters? Are they looking to get to good school systems? You can target market to sell that home for more money. Go get attention and then show them what you do that's different than everybody else. But there's a good chance that the enemy for you is not the president or the future president or the past president or anything else. You know who the enemy is? Obscurity. Obscurity is the problem. You're not, nobody knows who you are. If you walk through a grocery store, nobody knows you. If you walk through the mall, nobody spots you. You are a citizen. You're just a somebody. You haven't built fame, trust, authority, credibility. You haven't done any of that in your own little marketplace, your own little zip code. Obscurity is what's beating you. I'm telling you now, if they change so many people were worried, oh, the way we're doing commissions now, how many buyers were you meeting with beforehand? How many have you met since then? I don't think the problem is the way the rules work. I think the problem is we got a bad president running your company. I think the president of your company might be the one that needs to change their policies, change their procedures, change their requirements of their employees. That too is you. Or re-elect somebody else. Because damn it, enough is enough. Are you building your own deficit? Are you fighting with debt and dealing with all of those issues because of poor management? Because of poor CEO role? Maybe that's what we need to adjust today. Maybe today you elect someone new for your business, and it might just be a reincarnation of yourself. Because you, as the president of your business, are going to make the big changes that will make a meaningful financial, bankable dollars difference for your real estate business. If you're sitting back and you're watching TV and the race to 270 and who's going to be the president and let's contest that, and here was a bunch of criminal shit that happened and here was some illegal voting and it looks like another 300,000 dead people voted again this time, all of that crap, man, are you getting attention and have something to show them once you get that attention? What are you watching? Can you imagine if everybody was watching you as president of your company? And what you're doing every day, like literally leaving the house because you have to go run an errand. If you were paying somebody $20 an hour, you would fire them immediately if they had to go get their nails done real quick, if they had to just run to the grocery for a minute. If you were paying somebody 15 bucks, you'd fire their ass on the spot for stealing from you because they're stealing the time that they should be productive. Yet you allow yourself to do it all the time. I think the president of your business might need a reincarnation themselves. Maybe they need what they're going to do for the next 100 days. Call it their first 100 days. It doesn't matter what happens with our rules with NAR. It doesn't matter if eventually, and yes, they will, NAR files bankruptcy. It doesn't matter if we have a Republican or a Democrat in office. None of that stuff matters. The only thing that matters is how you make changes every single day. Because here's what I know. Houses are always going to be here. People are always going to need a place to live. We're always going to work essentially the same way. Will we have to work around policies that are not in our best interest? Yes, eventually. We're going to have bad shit happen to us. Will we sometimes have good policies that help us and we feel like we had a windfall? Yes, good shit's going to happen to us. You should expect both, kind of like you should in life. You're going to have bad things happen in 2025. You're going to have a lot of bad things happen, but you're going to have some good things happen too. What matters is how you adjust with that. So I don't want you to spend too much time thinking that these changes are going to make it or break it for you. You're the president. You need to do a better job. You need to deal with bad shit when it comes, good shit when it comes. You need to be a better president for your business. So, will there be positives and negatives to both, depending on outcomes and House and Senate and all that crap? Yeah, sure, that's going to be the case. But you know what? We got to keep selling. That's it. If they made a federal mandate policy that real estate agents get 1% on every single transaction and home prices must decrease by 3% every single year forever. Like, obviously, that's never going to happen. But if it does, that's what we got. Let's figure out what we got to do. How do we make those adjustments? And that's exactly what you would do, right? No different than everybody bitching about gas prices. If gas prices go, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. It's $5.50 a gallon. You know what you're going to do? Go pay it. The benefit of gas prices being higher, you finally stop complaining about the weather. It just gives you something else to complain about, and you're going to pay it and you're going to do it. What else are you going to do? You deal with it. So the same is true here, and I think you'll find that, as I saw here, the enemy is within, right? It's us. We are the enemy. I found the enemy, and he is me, right? So you have to get really focused on how am I going to get attention and then have something to show once I get them to look my way so that they are interested in me above all other options. That's how you win in real estate, and it's how you keep from allowing all this outside stuff from affecting you, because you're going to deal with it no matter what it is. What's the point of being upset? So you don't take action, so you don't do the things you need to do. Let me give you an example. Whoever you think is going to win the election, if the other person wins, that means you're going to need to work harder. I would start immediately. Doesn't mean you need to mope around for 2 weeks. It means I'm going to have to work my ass off. I'm going to have to do a lot more than I thought I would have to do. So it's time for you to give yourself a little motivational speech. It's time for you to give yourself a little swift kick in the pants. And it's time to start creating policies for the president of your business, to start making some more changes, to be more effective, to be less on that procrastination and all of the distractions we have, to start to lessen that effect that it creates on you every single day. If you do that, you're going to be more profitable no matter who's running this country. I think you'll find it will make a big, big difference for you. So as we make these adjustments and new policies are in place, I promise to keep everybody up to date, as I always do. If you're following this channel, you ring the bell here. You should do that right now, by the way. Make sure you're following the page and you turn on notifications. But I'm going to keep you up to date on adjustments that are happening, what you need to be doing as a real estate agent, what niches are going to be best for you, where you should be handling your marketing, whether it's free, low cost, or even the high dollar advertising, whatever you're using right now. Where should you be using that right now? And what type of advertising or what type of clients should you be attracting? I'm going to be showing you that on a consistent basis so you can push through 2025 to grow your business at a higher level than you ever thought possible. You should see somewhere in the chat or somewhere here for you to subscribe if you're not already subscribing. But here's the thing. These adjustments have to be made for you to succeed. I think 2025 is going to be huge for you if you decide it is, regardless of what happens with rules, laws, elections. None of that stuff is going to happen. You will win when you're ready to win. If you've been licensed for a while, you've been through Republicans and Democrats, what the hell happened? You think this time it's going to make a difference for you? It's not changing your business unless you change your business. So my recommendation for you, if you look, we've got 1,000 videos on our YouTube channel alone. There's plenty for you to binge, for you to learn from, even if you're not a member with Greg Luther Inner Circle. There's plenty for you to binge watch and learn from and start to implement and get your business going in the right direction. We've got a lot coming up here in the month of November. So I think you'll find it will help you tremendously. If you are not on my email list, that is massively different from the YouTube channel. If you are not on my email list, you are going to miss out in the month of November with some stuff that's going to make a massive difference for an awful lot of agents, and you won't be involved. You simply go to gregsprioritylist.com, and that'll get you on the email list. You can unsubscribe at any time, but you're never going to. I've got agents that have been on there 25 years. I can't believe email's been around that long, but sure enough, it has. Way back when I had an AOL account. But you can go to gregsprioritylist.com. And that'll get you on the email list just to get some of these private invites that I do for free trainings, live events, things like that, where you can watch from home or from your office. So regardless, have fun, talk to your friends about what's right and what's wrong with the election and all that stuff. But realize that you can actually adjust what the president does, the president of your business, the one you can actually make an outcome for. You can change the outcome of. You can make all those adjustments yourself. So stay focused. Get real focused on growing your business, growing your sphere of influence, getting more people to know you, building trust, authority, and credibility in your marketplace. Then you can create a huge 2025 for you. I got a lot of news coming to everybody that is on the email list at gregsprioritylist.com. I think you're going to find it very helpful for you. November is going to be a lot of fun for us. I'm Greg Luther. We'll talk to you soon. Go out there and sell some houses, and we'll talk later. Bye-bye for now.